Do you remember this young girl in the photo? If you try to recall, you might remember her from the widely circulated images of a Chinese woman captured for drug trafficking and presented to the world as the girl preparing to be executed while laughing. Are you ready to learn the striking truths about He Shuling, this prisoner? The information that we are about to share, gathered from the statements made years later by the newspaper reporter who was with her during her last hours and who photographed the 3 other condemned prisoners, as well as from a thorough examination of archives of news agencies based in South Korea, has been compiled by the Here Is Life channel. Date: December 2011. Photos of the Chinese woman laughing and joking while preparing for her death were released to the world 8 years after she was executed with a bullet to the back of her head. The photos were taken on June 24, 2003, at Women's Detention Center No. 1 in Wuhan, China. At the time, the photos were deemed too sensitive for release and chronicle the 10-hour process before Shuling and 3 other women were shot. Shuling, the daughter of a small businessman, grew up in Xiantao, an ordinary city in China's rural Hubei province. Although vivacious and outgoing, after finishing high school with average grades, she started working in a factory for about $2 a day. However, at the age of 24, despite her family's objections, she moved to Zhongshan, a relatively cosmopolitan city in southern China, in search of excitement. There, she fell in love with a man named Wang Qizhi. When she found out he was a drug dealer, she initially left him, but soon returned after he won her back with jewelry and a mobile phone. In January 2002, Shuling was convinced by Wang to transport a shipment of heroin hidden in a microwave oven from Guangzhou to Wuhan to be delivered to a hotel. After agreeing to do 2 more drug runs for Wang in February and March, on the 3rd trip, Shuling was arrested in Wuhan with about 7 kilograms of heroin. The man who led her into this crime, Wang, fled and was never caught again. The young girl, who accepted being an informant in the police station in exchange for a lighter sentence, was sentenced to death in September 2002. According to a journalist who visited her, Shuling was absolutely convinced that her sentence would be revoked. Other prisoners told her that her sentence would be commuted to 15 years in prison, said the journalist. She would sing in her cell. She was a simple girl who never thought her execution would really go ahead. I think the guards convinced her of this, maybe out of kindness. But they must have known she had no chance. Shuling accepted her imminent fate only a few hours before her execution and wrote an apology letter to her family saying, "I'm sorry for disappointing you. It wasn't meant to be like this. You used to scold me for being naughty, but I never thought I would get into so much trouble. I just wanted to go and earn money to take care of you, but everything went wrong." 36-year-old reporter Yan Yuhong, who was with her in her last hours and took her photos, explained years later that Shuling looked relaxed because she was surrounded by fellow prisoners and guards whom she regarded as friends. Reporter Yu Hong said the young girl's mood completely changed an hour before her execution and stated, "When she was taken to sign the formal execution papers, she was surrounded by strangers. A lot of people were staring at her, and I was the only person she recognized. She looked at me and smiled. I tried to give her a comforting look in return. When she left, she was in tears. To me, she just seemed like a young, lost girl. I believe she was innocent. Some people traffic drugs to make money, and others do it because of their innocence. She was one of the innocents. She was so naive that she believed until the end that she would be pardoned and instead receive a 15-year prison sentence." Shuling, who begged the judge during her trial, "Please give me a second chance to live. I want to live. I am still very young," went through a 9-month trial. Preparing for her fate in the prison where she was held after her death sentence, the young girl spent her last night having fun with her friends who shared the same fate. The last night, accompanied by the guards, He Shuling chose her clothes, asking for a black t-shirt to look thinner. She ate a hamburger menu for dinner. On the morning of the day she was to be executed, she had a noodle soup for breakfast. While wealth and political connections can often secure